There is a reaction most people would never confess. Someone you know loses the position they were proud of. A successful relationship suddenly falls apart. A person who appeared confident is publicly embarrassed. A creator loses their audience. A business collapses. A rival is rejected. Someone who seemed to have everything is finally brought down. You may offer sympathy. You may say, "That's terrible." But beneath the words, another emotion quietly appears. Relief, satisfaction, perhaps even pleasure. Not because their failure improved your life. Nothing was added to your bank account. None of your problems disappeared. No new opportunity entered your hands. And yet, for a brief moment, their fall made you feel taller. Psychology has a name for this reaction: Schadenfreude, the pleasure or satisfaction experienced in response to another person's misfortune. But knowing the word does not explain the emotion. The real question is much more uncomfortable. Why can another person's pain sometimes feel like our relief? Tonight, Mind Trap investigates one of the emotions people hide not only from others, but also from themselves. Because the pleasure we feel when someone fails is rarely just about what happened to them. It reveals what was already hurting inside us. Stay until the end, because this investigation is not about identifying cruel people somewhere outside of you. It is about recognizing the subtle moment when comparison, envy, justice, resentment, and insecurity begin to operate inside the human mind. And once you recognize that moment, you may never watch another person's downfall in the same way again. The first thing we must understand is that feeling a brief flash of satisfaction does not automatically make someone evil. Human emotions do not wait for moral permission. They can appear before the conscious mind has time to approve or reject them. You may dislike what you felt. You may immediately correct yourself. You may even feel guilty afterward. The emotion itself is information. What matters is what created it and what you choose to do with it. Imagine two people working in the same company. One receives constant praise, promotions, and recognition. The other works hard but feels invisible. Every achievement of the successful employee becomes a silent reminder of what the overlooked employee has not received. Then the admired employee makes a major mistake. Suddenly, the overlooked person feels something loosen inside them. Their own position has not improved. They have not been promoted. They have not received more respect. But the painful distance between them and the other person has become smaller. This is where social comparison enters the story. Human beings do not evaluate themselves in isolation. We often understand our success, beauty, intelligence, relationships, and social value by comparing them with the people around us. Someone else's success can therefore become more than information about their life. It can feel like a judgment on ours. Their happy relationship can make your loneliness feel heavier. Their financial success can make your struggles feel more humiliating. Their confidence can expose your insecurity. Their attention can remind you that you feel unseen. They may have done absolutely nothing to hurt you, but their existence has become a mirror reflecting everything you believe you lack. When that person fails, the mirror temporarily changes. Your life has not risen, but the person you were comparing yourself with has fallen closer to your level. That reduction in distance creates relief. This is why some people do not necessarily want your life. They want proof that your life is not as perfect as it appears. They search for problems inside your relationship. They question how you earned your success. They study your mistakes more carefully than your achievements. They may seem unusually interested whenever something goes wrong. Your failure comforts them because it repairs the story they need to believe. You are not really ahead of me. This is also why the failure of a stranger may produce no reaction, while the failure of a friend, sibling, co-worker, or rival feels strangely significant. Comparison is strongest when the other person is psychologically close to us. A billionaire losing money may mean nothing to someone struggling at work. But watching a co-worker lose a promotion can feel intensely personal because both people were competing within the same world. The closer someone is to the identity you want, the more threatening their success can become. But comparison does not always lead to the desire to see someone fall. Envy can move in two very different directions. One form is often called benign envy, and it says, "They have something I want. What can I learn from them?" This kind of envy is uncomfortable, but it can produce growth. It turns another person's advantage into motivation. Their success becomes evidence of what may be possible. The darker form is malicious envy. It says, "They have something I want. I need them to lose it." The first response attempts to close the gap by rising. The second attempts to close the gap by pulling the other person down. And pulling someone down often feels easier. Growth demands discipline. It requires patience, self-examination, risk, and the possibility of personal failure. Resentment asks for none of these things. It only asks us to wait for the successful person to make a mistake. That is why someone may spend more energy monitoring another person's downfall than constructing their own future. Every failure becomes emotional evidence. Every embarrassing moment becomes a reward. Every rumor becomes something they secretly hope is true. This pleasure becomes even stronger when people believe the person deserved what happened. If someone was arrogant, dishonest, exploitative, or cruel, their failure can feel like justice. A corrupt leader loses power, an abusive partner is abandoned. A dishonest business is exposed. A public figure who humiliated others is publicly humiliated. In situations like these, satisfaction may come from seeing fairness restored. The mind feels that the moral balance has been corrected. But this is where the emotion becomes difficult to examine, because justice can also become the mask envy wears when it wants to feel innocent. Ask yourself, did I enjoy seeing fairness restored? Or did the language of fairness simply give me permission to enjoy someone's pain? This distinction matters. Wanting harmful behavior to stop is not the same as enjoying the destruction of the person responsible. Accountability has a purpose. It seeks truth, protection, consequences, and change. Schadenfreude seeks the emotional reward of watching someone suffer. One asks, how can the damage be corrected? The other asks, how much worse will this become for them? You can see this difference clearly online. A public figure makes a mistake. At first, people criticize the behavior. Evidence is presented. Questions are asked. Accountability may be necessary, but soon the conversation changes. People begin mocking the person's appearance. They contact family members. They celebrate the loss of income. They search through years of old material, hoping to find something even more damaging. They repeatedly refresh the page because they do not want the story to end. At that point, it is no longer only about accountability. The punishment has become entertainment. The internet did not invent Schadenfreude. It industrialized it. Social media can transform one person's worst day into content for millions of spectators. Humiliation is clipped, reposted, edited, memed, monetized, and preserved long after the original event has passed. The screen creates emotional distance. People who might hesitate before mocking someone face to face can join thousands of strangers in celebrating that person's collapse. The crowd also weakens individual responsibility. When everyone is laughing, cruelty begins to feel socially approved. When everyone is attacking, another insult feels insignificant. And when the target is described as a villain, almost any punishment begins to feel acceptable. The crowd does more than give permission. It provides belonging. Shared dislike can unite people quickly. Two strangers may know nothing about each other, but if they hate the same person, they immediately have a common identity. This is one reason gossip can feel socially rewarding. A group discussing another person's failure is not merely exchanging information. They are establishing who belongs inside the group and who has been placed outside it. The target's humiliation becomes social glue. The group feels closer because someone else has been positioned beneath them. There is also another reason people repeatedly consume stories of failure: downward comparison. When life feels unstable, watching someone else experience something worse can create temporary emotional relief. My relationship has problems, but at least it is not as bad as theirs. My career is stagnant, but at least I was not publicly fired. I have made mistakes, but at least the entire world is not laughing at me. This does not solve insecurity. It briefly sedates it. Another person's pain becomes a form of emotional painkiller, but the effect never lasts, because confidence created through comparison must constantly be renewed. If you feel valuable only when someone else appears less valuable, you will need an endless supply of people beneath you. If you feel successful only when someone else fails, their recovery will feel like a new threat. If your self-worth depends on another person's humiliation, peace becomes impossible, because someone will always be doing better than you. This is why Schadenfreude can become addictive. The person begins checking for more bad news. They revisit the story. They share the humiliation with others. They feel disappointed when the target recovers. They may even reinterpret neutral events as evidence that the person is failing again. Eventually, witnessing failure may no longer be enough. They begin encouraging it. A quiet emotion becomes gossip. Gossip becomes sabotage. Sabotage becomes the secret creation of the very downfall they claimed merely to observe. This is the line that cannot be ignored. There is a major difference between experiencing an involuntary emotion and organizing your behavior around it. A brief flash of satisfaction is human. Repeatedly feeding it is a choice. Spreading someone's private pain is a choice. Humiliating them is a choice. Destroying an opportunity because you cannot tolerate their progress is a choice. The emotion becomes dangerous when a person stops simply witnessing failure and begins needing, encouraging, or creating it. And sometimes this happens inside relationships that appear supportive. A friend encourages your dream but becomes distant when you begin succeeding. A relative dismisses every achievement but becomes intensely curious about every problem. A coworker offers advice that quietly weakens your position. A partner repeatedly reminds you of past failures whenever you begin gaining confidence. These people may not openly say, "I want you to lose." Their behavior communicates something more subtle. I am comfortable with your growth, only while it does not exceed mine. But before using this video to diagnose everyone around you, turn the investigation inward. Think of one person whose failure has secretly made you feel better. Do not choose someone who clearly harmed you. Choose someone whose success simply disturbed you. What did that person represent? Beauty, status, love, confidence, recognition, freedom, talent, money? Were you truly celebrating their failure or celebrating your temporary escape from feeling inferior? Did their loss give you justice? Or did it give your insecurity somewhere to hide? These questions are uncomfortable because they remove the target and reveal the wound. Envy often points toward an unmet desire. It can reveal the ambition you abandoned, the risk you were afraid to take, the recognition you believe you deserve, or the part of yourself you have not learned to value. If another person's relationship creates resentment, perhaps it is exposing your need for connection. If their career creates hostility, perhaps it is reminding you that you feel trapped. If their confidence irritates you, perhaps it is touching the part of you that still depends on approval. This does not justify malicious behavior, but it gives you somewhere useful to look. Instead of asking, "How can I stop them from having this?" ask, "Why does their possession of it feel like proof that I cannot?" Someone else's success does not remove your possibility. Their beauty does not make you ugly. Their recognition does not erase your value. Their progress does not mean you have missed every opportunity. Comparison creates the illusion that human worth is a limited resource, that if one person receives more, everyone else must receive less. But life is not always a single competition with one winner. Another person's success can become information rather than an insult. It can reveal what you desire, what you admire, what you regret, and what you may need to pursue. This requires something more difficult than pretending never to feel envy. It requires honesty. When you notice pleasure at another person's failure, pause before feeding it. Name what you felt. Ask what comparison was operating underneath it. Separate genuine accountability from personal resentment. Refuse to turn someone's pain into entertainment. And then direct your attention toward the part of your own life that their failure temporarily helped you avoid. Because every minute spent studying another person's collapse is a minute that could have been used to understand your own direction. The hidden pleasure of watching someone fail is rarely only about them. It is about the part of us that felt smaller while they were standing. Their fall gives that wounded part a moment of relief. But relief is not healing. Their humiliation cannot build your confidence. Their rejection cannot create your belonging. Their loss cannot give your life direction. And their collapse cannot carry you toward the person you were supposed to become. If your confidence requires another person to lose, you never truly possessed confidence. You only possessed comparison. The real victory is not watching someone fall beneath you. It is reaching a place where their success no longer threatens who you are, where envy becomes information, where comparison becomes self-awareness, where another person's light does not feel like evidence of your darkness. Because the strongest mind does not need a weaker person standing beside it. And the person who is genuinely building their own life has no time to celebrate the destruction of someone else's. This is Mind Trap, where we do not simply judge human behavior, we investigate what created it. If this video made you recognize something you once refused to admit, subscribe and continue this journey into the hidden psychology controlling everyday life.